Hello, and welcome to our second daily Havamal video. Before we get started, I'd like to take the time out to address a couple of questions that I got on this particular version of the Havamal. I was asked which translation that the author used to put this particular Havamal together. In the back here it says, "For the creation of this book, books and publications of other writers were used for inspiration and research. In addition to conversation with knowledgeable people, the following works have been particularly helpful and are a recommendation on our part for anyone who wants to delve deeper into Norse mythology." And here we have a list of their sources. I would also like everyone to note that this particular Havamal is not set up like your average Havamal. Let me show you. See, here we have our standard Havamal, the Wise Words of Odin, translated by Jackson Crawford. And this is how this is set up. On one side here, we have each stanza in Old Norse, and then the English translation here. And as you can see here, in the standard Havamal written by Jackson Crawford, there is 164 stanzas, whereas in this version, there are only 63 of these poems. And here we have how this interpretation of the Havamal is set up. On the left side here, we have each stanza written in a more simplified manner. And then on the right side, we have this book's interpretation on what each stanza means. So I see this book as more of an in-depth look at the wise words of Odin himself that helps explain each stanza in a little bit more depth and detail, rather than your standard Havamal. So I hope that helps with the questions that some of you all had about that particular Havamal. And with that being said, let's dive into our next stanza. Havamal stanza number 2. Hail to a good host. A guest has come inside. Where should he sit? He is impatient, standing on the threshold, ready to try his luck. And now for this Havamal's translation of the same stanza. There is a knock on your door, someone friendly, a guest. After long days on the road, he is seeking some rest. Welcome him and make his comfort your honest delight. If you do not, any visit might end in a fight. And now for the interpretation written in this Havamal of stanza number 2. At that time, travelers depended on the hospitality of local people in the area. When these travelers were invited to stay, it was customary to quickly offer them a place to rest. No one ever liked the feeling of standing in space and not being noticed. You can apply this to your everyday guests like your family, but also to real travelers. When your mother visits you, she is happy to have a nicely set coffee table. Your grandmother is actually grateful for a chair to rest her old bones on. If you are hosting travelers, for example via Airbnb, they will be happy if you don't just leave them in the room. Show them where they will be sleeping, where the bathroom is, and offer them a place for a quick chat. Nobody likes to stand alone in a room. So what this stanza means to me is, 1, be a good host. 2, be hospitable, or show good hospitality. And 3, never ignore your guests. And well guys, I think that wraps it up for our daily stanza number 2. Until next time, I'm Bjorn for Floki, and may the gods be with you all.